Hello guys, and today I'm going to be doing part 1 of my long series of programming videos for Roblox, Lua. So, today we are going to mainly cover the basics of what you need to do to start a game on Roblox. So yeah, let's hop right into it. So first, of course, you're going to have to go to roblox.com. That's kind of obvious. You're gonna want to go into your profile, and then you'll see all your games in your active places. You'll manage your places, and then what you'll do is if you're new to game creation, then you'll create a place. You'll give it a name, tutorial 1, let's say. Now let's just call it tutorial lol. Let's say it's sci-fi, even though it really isn't. Let's make it only for the computer. 30 players can play it at a time. It can only be by my friends. They can do whatever they want. Not copy locked. Templates, I prefer to use base plate because flat terrain's kind of annoying. Because you can't really delete the terrain. Well, you can, but it takes a while. Anyways, here we go. Create a place, and you'll see here tutorial, and you can make it active. And then over here, you should be in My Creations. Over here, you'll see this button that says Edit. Not Build, Edit. Build is kind of for if you don't want to do any programming stuff. While we wait for Roblox to load here, one thing that I recommend doing as a newbie to programming is going onto the forum, scrolling down, and right here at scripters, make a thread. If you're ever stuck, and just say help, my script doesn't work, or something like that, and then type your problem, post it, and I'm sure some very helpful people will help you find your problem in your script. Okay, anyways, back to the main video. I'm going to actually get rid of these because this comes later. Okay, now here you are. This is what you should see, unless you did terrain. Go to Toolbox, or go to Home, make sure you're at Home, and click on Toolbox, and this thing should pop up. I don't know if it'll be on your right side of your screen, at the bottom, at the top, but this thing should pop up somewhere on your screen. Now if you click up here, then you can go to Models. At Models, you can go search up stuff. So I'm going to go search up a car, and then there are cars here, and if I click on it and I drag it, then I can drag it into my world, and all of a sudden I have a car. And so that's pretty cool. You can do basically anything. You can take as many as your game will handle. Put it anywhere, move it around, adjust it with some of the tools up there. I'm going to make these cars be flying for no reason in particular. Yeah, so here we go. We have a bunch of flying cars. And so yeah, you can do you can get something like guns. How about just gun? Here. And I can click on this, I can say no, and then it'll be right here, and I can go pick it up if I want to when I spawn into my world. Decals. A decal is basically a picture, and if you hover it above a part, then that picture will be on that anything really. Like here we have a cat decal thingamajigger. The last cheeseburger, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's decal. You can try and put multiple on one, but usually only one or two. Usually one shows up. But yeah, that's basically models and decals. You can look at yours that you've already taken or that you've uploaded. But yeah, you can also look at some of the recent models and decals that you used. That's pretty much it. And then for the rest of it, you're going to want it to go to View, and you're going to click on Explore and Properties. Now, basically, anything that you see in the three-dimensional world of Roblox is stored in Workspace. And actually here, before I say that, there are a bunch of folders here in the Explorer. Don't worry, none of them are that complicated. They're usually pretty simple. But they're all these folders are inside one giant folder called game, and you're gonna have to try to keep that in your mind later on in this video. You guys are probably like, can I get to the programming already? And I'm like, no, I have to show you guys all this before you can start doing programming, or before you can start learning Lua. But anyways, here you go. Here's a bunch of vehicles, and you see the 1991 Zeta car is right here. When I click on it in the Workspace, it is highlighted blue in the actual three-dimensional world. I can delete it from the Workspace. I can undelete it from up here, and I can do all sorts of stuff with it. And here's my AK-47. I can delete it from Workspace, but yeah. For now, I'm just gonna delete basically everything. I can just press. Well, if I do this and I press the delete button on your keyboard, then they're all gone. And I can also delete base plate. These two things, terrain and camera, you always want to leave in there. Terrain is basically anything that, no, I don't need you. Like here, you know, when you do build, like if you wanted to delete that, if you did the flat terrain, for example, and you wanted to delete it, then up here, then basically anything that's basically non-partish, that's kind of like terrainish, is under here, and you basically can't delete terrain no matter what. You can try, but it won't work. Camera you can delete, but I think it just comes back, right? Yeah, it just comes back. So you don't want to delete the camera. Or you can try, but it'll just keep popping back. But anyways, if you go to home, and you just click for a new part to be spawned, and here it is, here's your part. When you click on it, basically you can adjust everything about this part, just about everything, from the properties. If I click on replicated storage, I can rename it to John. But I'm gonna put it back to replicated storage, because that's simpler for me. But yeah, you can adjust this part with basically everything in here. So I can change its color by doing this. I'm gonna make it red. I can change what it's made of. I'm gonna make it marble for I don't know why. You can change how shiny it is using the reflectance. I believe 1 is like super shiny and 0 is like really dull. You can change how see-through it is. I'm going to make it about 1/4 invisible. You can change its name. I'm going to name it to Bob, just for the convenience of the name Bob. And then you can change its position from here. So if I change this to, let's say 15.8, you'll notice how it moved about 8 studs in the right direction. I can change how high it is. Just went up about 5 studs. I can change its rotation from here. Let's make it a bit tilted. Okay, I can change, if you step on it, will you like go around in circles like a wormhole, or if you'll go forward, or things like that. I think you can also make how bouncy it is by changing the elasticity down here. You can make it so will it stay in place, like if a part touches it, will it stay in place or move a little bit? That's by anchoring it. Or you can also, while it's anchored, you can have a script change its position. So the only thing that can move a block while it's anchored is a script. While it's unanchored, the script can move it, but it's kind of hard for the script to do that because it'll just keep falling whenever it changes its position. Archivable, can it be changed by a script? Can collide means if a human touches it, will they just fall right through it, or will they actually make physical contact with that brick? Locked is mainly a studio thing. If I try to click on it or anything, it doesn't show it in the properties, it doesn't highlight it in Workspace. But if I disable locked, it highlights it, shows it in Workspace, and I can adjust its properties. Elasticity, how jumpy it is, like a trampoline. Form factor, basically a studio thing yet again. Can you make it really thin or really big or really small? That's basically what form factor is. Friction, well, you slip off it. If you actually pay attention in science class, then you should know what friction is. A shape, you can adjust what it looks like. If it's a ball, a cylinder, never mind. Oh, that's a different video. Size, you can adjust how big it is. Like, I can make it 40 studs by 40 studs by 40 studs just by pressing enter, which is pretty cool. And you can change its surface inputs, which is very complicated. I'm not going to get into that. You can change what it looks like on each side of that shape. And now for the actual juicy part of this video, the programming part. So in case you guys don't already know, Roblox uses a programming language called Lua. And so if you go to model and you go all the way over here and double click script, then a script will pop up. If you notice in Workspace, you'll see there's a script there. You can move it to server script service if you wish. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it Bob's script because it was specifically meant for Bob. Now we're going to talk about printing. So it doesn't require a printer, okay? And it's very simple. So what you do is you write down print, no caps, nothing, just simple print, and you do parentheses. Now if you go to view and you go over here to output, you'll notice it says stuff like unable to create an instance type of stock sound and stuff like that, and you run a command and I say print. Now you'll see when I press enter into the command bar, if you have the command bar open, then nothing is printed because there's nothing inside these parentheses. But if I do print 2 plus 2, right? That'll work, right? Then it'll say 4. Print 5 plus 2. It says 7. Now if I wanted it to print pizza, it'll say error. If I put quotation marks, however, on both sides of the text, then you'll notice in the command bar or in the output it says pizza, exactly how I wrote it in between the quotation marks. If I say Lua is my favorite language, inside of those quotation marks, inside the output, it says Lua is my favorite language. So if you think about it, if I put 2 plus 2 times 5, which is 4 times 5, actually here I'm going to do parentheses like so. 2 plus 2 times 5, yep. And I go here and I go to home, go here and click run. Down here, you'll see it says 20 because 2 plus 2 equals 4, and if you multiply 4 by 5, you get 20. Now if I do a print 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, right? That should work. I will get, that might not work, not entirely sure, 7,776. So you can do a lot of cool things with that printing function. So now that you guys know how to use print, let's go and make Bob a human. We're going to make its kind of fleshy color. And we're going to make him completely visible, which he already is. Let's make him not really reflective. And now we're going to change Bob's mood. Okay. So first we're going to create a variable. So a variable basically means that whenever you write down this word, which is going to be Bob, that means you're talking about that specific object. So Bob equals game, which, like I said, game is the mega folder that holds all these mini folders. Game.Bob, and that is our variable. So now we're going to go Bob.transparency equals 0.5. So when I click run, an error will happen, because if you look here, is Bob inside Workspace or inside Game? Bob is inside Workspace, and Workspace is in Game, so I can't do Bob equals game.Bob because there is no Bob inside Game. So I have to do Bob equals game.Workspace.Bob. And now, when I click run, or if I click stop and click run, Bob becomes half transparent. So now, I can change Bob's color. Let's say Bob.brick color. If you notice here, you have to make it exactly like it is inside the properties. So brick, capital B, no spaces, color, capital C, dot brick color equals. Now this is kind of wacky because you have to do brick color, Bob.brick color equals brick color, and you have to call in a new brick color, and then you have to do quotation marks because you know how I did print, you know how I did this, print pizza, and I didn't put the quotation marks. It says nil. Now I have to put quotation marks, and I have to get something that's exactly the real caps and stuff for a real color. So I'm going to make it really blue. I'm going to go back here and make him tan again, cool yellow. And now Bob.brickColor equals brickColor.new, really blue. And if I click the green cheese wedge, Bob turns partially invisible and blue. So that's kind of nice. That's a cool feature. But you don't have to do variables. You can do game.workspace.bob each time if that's what you insist on doing. It's not very efficient, but it's definitely something you can do. Game.workspace.bob, and if you notice, if I click the green cheese wedge again, exact same result. So I'm going to type in print Bob is sad and a frowny face. And if you look here in the output, Bob is sad, frowny face. So that's very cool. So that is going to do it for this first tutorial, guys. If you liked, then like. If you want to see more, then subscribe. And as usual, actually, you know what? First, make sure that you save online. Save your game. Or you can save it in a file, which would be in the top left corner. But make sure you save your game, guys. I can't tell you how many times I would make, like, a bad mistake. And, like, all of a sudden, all my work that I spent, like, 5 hours on doing, I'd just kill myself. I would just be done. Everything would be gone. Ooh. Okay, anyways, if you liked, then subscribe, and like, I guess. If you want to go check out my account, my username is EPICJAKEISCOOL, all caps. You can check out some of my work, Epicsville, Alone, working on a new horror game. And if you want to see this tutorial place, then it will be open to the public. You can use it for your own purposes. But yeah, if you like, and I'm not going to say that for a time, but yeah, as usual, guys, stay epic.